first time too, so it's great to be here. So, where is Manor, Texas? Yes, she's an enthusiastic audience member. So Manor is just east of Austin. We're a very tiny city, 6,500 people, 35 full-time employees, that's including our police department. So we are a very, very tiny animal. I'm not even going to get into our budget because it's quite depressing to talk about. The first thing that I always talk about is where we came from. This is the only picture online that I could find that really exemplifies Manor's technology infrastructure 4 years ago. There was no technology infrastructure. That tumbleweed was more speedy than our network. And the problem was we didn't have a server, we didn't have any type of internal networking, there was no system that talked to another system. Everyone was on a standalone platform. It was incredibly complex. Tickets were being manually entered multiple times. And so we started with the foundation, trying to figure out what could we do to speed this process up, because that was the key to all of this innovation beginning, is we had to get all of our ducks in a row starting at the bottom. So we consolidated all of our information technology infrastructure, put in a server bay, outsourced some of our IT and our hosting to Google. We're Google Apps user in Manor, and we built an infrastructure from the ground up. So then innovation came into play, and we always thought, well, we can't really innovate because we're too small to innovate. And so when you look at the definition of innovation, we started looking at the introduction of new things or methods. So not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but creating new uses for existing products that we had. So we started focusing on that and how we could really leverage that and also leverage our citizens. Our citizens work in high tech in Austin. Samsung's largest manufacturing hub is in Manor. It's not in our city limits, it's in our school district. So we wanted to leverage the citizens that we had in the community. So we started wondering, can innovation happen in an internal environment or an external environment? Where is it prosperous? And so we thought that this brought up the fundamental argument of whether the crowd is wise. So the first rule of crowdsourcing is you have to figure out whether you can trust the crowd or not. And so Manor's opinion, the crowd is wise, the crowd just needs direction. So Wikipedia, when they set up this online encyclopedia and they decided to crowdsource the development of it, they gave the crowd a framework and a direction to use. They didn't say, just go on there and put whatever you want on there. They gave them a direction, trying to create a knowledge database. They told them the specifications of what they were looking for. So we took this complex process of government innovation, which this is quite similar to a lot of private companies that I've worked for before, and we simplified it. And we made it easy and understandable. And so we know that when innovation happens, someone has an idea. And that idea is like planting a seed. Now, when that idea is implemented, it becomes a solution. It's like that seed becoming a full-grown tree. Now, there's a middle component that has to happen. And that's the thing that's lacking from a lot of innovation platforms. And I'll go through that in a second. My little clicker's going to give out on me. The next thing twice for me. So what we did is we applied what we call an idea funnel to it. And this is what our platform does. So when an idea is submitted, it goes into the incubation category. And I'm going to go through the logistics of how it works through that. But essentially at this point, just know that there's 4 categories that ideas go through on our platform. This is the Manor Labs platform. Anyone in the world can participate. So y'all can all go home and y'all can sign up to our Manor Labs account and you can contribute knowledge on our platform. Next slide. So to submit an idea, we made it as easy as possible because we know that simplicity is the key to having citizens on the platform. So the citizen names the idea, they provide a description, they can tag it, and they have to specify the department that idea goes into. So that department is what channels the idea into the appropriate funnel. So go ahead to the next slide. So the next step is where the idea is vetted on by the participants on the platform. And this is where our platform is a little bit different. So this process is done by everyone that participates, and it's based on the number of votes, the number of page views, the number of comments, and the buzz associated with the idea. Once it has met that criteria, then it graduates automatically to the next process. So there's no manual process of going, that's a good idea, we're going to go ahead and advance it to the next stage. We haven't seen the idea at this point. It's an automatic graduation. So let's say the idea has met all of those criteria that we've set up. Then we review the idea. So this is where a department head will get the idea in their inbox, and they'll do a review on the idea. Is this idea feasible? Is it really solving an existing problem? Is it trainable? And the key is it sustainable? Which is exactly what it calls. And so, read it one more time for me, Bill. This is where the department head has to determine whether there's enough information to proceed with the implementation of this idea or the development of the idea. If there's not, he sends it back and says, I need more information. I want to know how we're going to pay for this. This is the most common But if there is enough information, then we can proceed forward. And then we sit down as an innovation committee, which is all of our department heads, and we review the ideas one by one, and we determine, is this really something that we can do? Can we partner with the company? Is there a higher education institution that can help us, or that can develop the solution for us? Or is this something that we have to buy? Occasionally, Manor does buy products. It's quite rare, but occasionally we do. Excellent. And the last step, it's either implemented or it's aborted. So if it's aborted, we have to give the citizen a reason why. Why could we not implement the idea? It's transparent. Everyone on the platform can see why we could not implement the idea. If it's implemented, then we reward the citizen, and I'll talk about the mechanics of doing that in a second. So it's just a complete transparent process. All of you can go into the platform and you can see the funnel in real time at any time to see how Manor's doing, how many ideas are in the queue. Excellent. Excellent. So just a recap of that process in a visual way so you can see it. Ideas implemented falls into incubation, which is that top category. Once it meets the criteria to graduate, it's an automatic process into the validation stage. If there's not enough information, the department head sends it back. If there is enough information, it goes to the next stage. This is the stage where we sit down as an innovation team and we review each idea and determine if it's something that is feasible. We also conduct pilots out of it, and we determine whether we're going to implement or abort at that point. And from there, that's the Chuck Norris photo. It's either implemented or it's aborted. So now what's the difference from the other platforms? This is an idea scale platform. Many of you have probably seen the GSA platform that they have put up, and a lot of federal agencies are using this. And it's a great platform, but it's not good at actually building ideas into solutions. Remember that tree diagram where the seed grows into a tree? That middle stage has to happen, and someone's got to do that work. So when GSA has to consider this idea, who's going to do that work? GSA employees. And if GSA employees see this platform as creating more work for them, are they going to like it? Probably not. In Manor, that would be bad. If you see any type of software platform as something that creates additional work for your staff will self-sabotage it. They're not going to purposely go in and do some malicious script on it, but they're not going to send people to the platform. Excellent. This is an idea that was in Manor. Someone said, I think you should ban texting while driving. And Texas is determined city by city. So we said, great. Then I asked, who else does it? The citizen provided all the other cities that ban it. And they also provided a copy of the City of Austin's ordinance. So now when we go to consider this idea to implement it, we have who else does it, and we have a copy of an ordinance saving us $125 an hour in legal to have them draft up an ordinance. So now how do you make it sustainable? We think that these platforms can be sustainable, but you have to use something called game mechanics. Excellent. So on our platform, we reward people for their participation in various amounts in a virtual currency that we call InnoBuck. And an InnoBuck is something that is unique to just Manor. It's unique to our platform, but it's something that we can provide in different quantities based on what they do. So if someone submits an idea, that's 5,000 InnoBucks. If they vote on an idea, it's only 150 InnoBucks. If they comment, it's 200 InnoBucks. But if their idea is implemented, it's 3,000 InnoBucks. So now what's the big thing with virtual currencies? As I was talking to Adriel earlier, when you become mayor of a place, is that really enticing? Is that really something that makes you want to check in at all these different locations on these location-based service apps? You know, it's a tangible benefit tied to that. If being mayor of a bar gets you a free drink, you're more inclined to go and check in at that bar every time you're in the area. So these are some of the tangible benefits that we have. You can get a gift certificate to a restaurant, and again, all these were donated. You can ride out with our chief of police. You can be mayor for a day. We're going to add the assistant city manager for a day because I need a vacation day in Manor. But again, the users know the users know there's a tangible benefit to participate. So they can trade in all of that virtual currency for a real tangible good. Whether it just be a piece of paper honoring them with a week declared in their honor, or whether it be being mayor for a day, which is quite popular in Japan and China, they have a tangible perceived benefit out of it. In addition, they're also ranked, and this is by other people on the platform. So if someone submits an idea and everyone demotes that idea, then their ranking will fall. This is like the color card system in kindergarten. It's green, yellow, red. If they get low enough, they'll get booted from the platform because we want to encourage good, positive innovation. If people use this platform as